this is my commentary on the Emerald Tablets 3, the Key of Wisdom. I taught the Atlantean, give of my wisdom, give of my knowledge, give of my power. And I find it curious he does it in that order, because yes, knowledge plus wisdom equals power, but first you need to have the knowledge to be able to then use your wisdom on how to use that knowledge to utilize the power. So I don't know if it was just word choice or putting it up there randomly. Freely I give to the children of men. Give that they too might have wisdom to shine through the world from the veil of the night. There's that N word again. Yeah. Wisdom is power, and power is wisdom, one with each other, perfecting the whole, which I pretty much just said that. Be thou not proud, O man, in thy wisdom. Discourse with the ignorant as well as the wise. If one comes to thee full of knowledge, listen and heed, for wisdom is all. And I love how he puts that in there, because a lot of people go, well, you don't know what you're talking about, and immediately dismiss what they're saying. And whether we like it or not, we can actually gain something from those who, in our minds, don't know anything, because they have a perspective that we can't fathom. We can't see through their perspective because they're not on the same level that we are on or have ever been on. Because if we're perceiving them as ignorant, it means we've never been there, right? So we should be talking to everybody, not just those who agree with us, because you never know what you're going to gain by having those conversations. The first portion of this is kind of like his version of the Ten Commandments, I guess. Keep thou not silent when evil is spoken, for truth, like the sunlight, shines above all. Which a lot of us are that way already. If somebody's telling us bullshit, we throw up the flag and say, excuse me. Let me illuminate you here. He who oversteppeth the law shall be punished, for only through law comes the freedom of men. And this is vastly true. And that also shines light on why the severe corruptness of our judicial system is having such a negative impact on the proper punishment for those who actually need the punishment, as opposed to the punishment of people who don't need it or deserve it. We were talking, a friend of mine and I a couple days ago, states have legalized marijuana. Why are there still people in their jails for marijuana possession? Hello? That's just one example. And that's a very small, petty example concerning the levels of corruption we all know exist. Cause thou not fear, for fear is a bondage, a fetter that binds the darkness of men. For people who don't know what fetter is, it's kind of like it's binding, like you've got your hands tied behind your back type of thing. And fear is a bondage. Okay? It's the deer in the headlights look. You're just going, wait, what? And you're paralyzed. You can't do anything. The people that are glued to the news are glued to the news because they're paralyzed by fear. And then there's the others that are glued to the video games. Cats. Glad I caught that though. Okay. The people that are glued to the video games and glued to the TV and all these other distractions want the distractions because the real life makes them afraid. If they're focusing on real life, they're focusing on, how am I going to pay this bill? Where's the next meal going to come from? How am I going to keep the lights on? That's all fear. Our entire economy is based on fear. Make people dependent on spending money, and you control them. So this is a very big one. By contributing to fear, we're just making the bondage worse. So we, as a human collective, need to rise above that. It's gonna make me all cry here. Okay. Follow thine heart during thy lifetime. Do thou more than is commanded of thee. Personally, I never did very well follow commands. So I find doing more than I'm commanded to do very easy. Following your heart is very important, and we're actually taught not to do that from a very young age. If you think about it, how many people are doing what they wanted to do when they were a child? What you wanted to do as a child is more of what you're meant to do in this life. But at some point during those years, most of us were taught we can't make money doing those things. We should not do those things. We will never succeed at those things, so we should give up those dreams. Right? Why did we allow them to do that to us? We grew up in a society of fear, so we bought into it. And now we've got to unprogram that fear and return to believing in ourselves, so we can follow our hearts, so we can do more than what is commanded of us. Because right now, as a society, doing what we're commanded to do is all we can do, because we don't have the resources to do anything other than what we're commanded to do. Half a page down. When thou hast gained riches, follow thou thine heart. For all these are of no avail if thine heart is weary. Diminish thou not the time of following thine heart. It is a board of the soul. Basically, if you're not following your heart, you're damaging your soul. You're hurting it. And if I remember correctly, it's on the next page. The whole, if you've gained riches, do what, follow your heart, yes. But the next page goes into that more deeply, so I'll talk more on the next page on that one. They that are guided go not astray, but they that are loose cannot find a straight path. If thou go among men, make for thyself love the beginning and end of the heart. I didn't get this emotional in the last 3 times I read this. Those of us that are in this community, most of us have been able to contact our guides, or at least find some way of communicating, even if we can't hear them, to understand what they're leading us to do. But there's still a large community of people out there who are not on their path. They have very much gone astray. And as it says here, those that are loose cannot find a straight path, right? And those are the people that need us the most. They're also the people that reject us the most. And therein is the conundrum. The only thing we can do is share our message, and someday, if they ever become ready, they'll come to us. If one cometh unto thee for counsel, let him speak freely, that the thing for which he hath come to thee may be done. If he hesitates to open his heart to thee, it is because thou, the judge, doeth the wrong. That happens so much. People come to us for help and we judge them instead of giving them the help that they need. And that is happening more and more and more in our society. And it needs to fucking stop. My thoughts on that topic. Repeat thou not extravagant speech. Neither listen thou to it, for it is the utterance of one not in equilibrium. Speak thou not of it, so that he before thee may know wisdom. To me, this is twofold. Extravagant speech can be construed as like a politician up there spewing word salad, just trying to convince you to do things, right? And to believe in them and vote for them and that kind of nonsense. There's also the extravagant speech of people who speak in $10, $100 words, $1,000 words, words that people need to pick up the dictionary in order to understand what the person is saying, right? Because when they use big words, it makes them sound smart, and therefore they should be listened to in a more revered way, because they're more educated, right? The general populace has a vocabulary on the 8th grade level, okay? So when you're throwing out the big dollar words, you're sounding like somebody who is an expert and needs to be listened to, whether you are or not. I was watching a video the other day and I'm like, I don't even know the meaning of that word that was just thrown out, okay? I have a major in English, or a bachelor's degree in English. I play those word games where you have all of these letters and you come up with all these words. I have all kinds of words I come up with. I can't come up with the easy ones in there. It's pretty bad, right? But I don't use words that are not commonly used because I want to be understood, not revered. So, yeah, that sentence or that paragraph is a twofold thing to me. Silence is of great profit, and abundance of speech profiteth nothing. And I really don't think I need to add anything to that. Just listen before you speak. I pretty much do that when I'm among new people because I don't know them. I need to know their speech patterns to know what level of language I can use. And what kind of things I can freely talk about and be able to judge whether I can push the envelope there. Exalt not thine heart above the children of men, lest it be brought lower than the dust. I like that. Don't think you're better than other people. A lot of words to say that, but that's what it says. That's twice now. Are you guys done? Okay. If thou be great among men, be honored for knowledge and gentleness. Basically, be humble. If thou seekest to know the nature of a friend, ask not his companion, but pass a time alone with him. Debate with him, testing his words, or his heart by his words and his bearing. Which is kind of self-explanatory. If you want to get to know your friend, you get to know your friend, not the people around your friend. That which goes into the storehouse must come forth, and the things that are thine must be shared with a friend. And this is the part that came to my mind when I read that other one about being rich, right? Because the rich tend to have more things. So if you grew excess crops, for example, why aren't you taking it down to your neighbors? Why aren't you making sure the people that are having trouble getting crops in, or whatever, you know, the people that are on food stamps that you may know? Share it. Make sure everybody's doing well. Knowledge is regarded by the fool as ignorance, and the things that are profitable to him are hurtful. He liveth in death, and therefore it is food. And that's what we're dealing with the people who don't want to accept reality. Right? Because this is reality for people like us. Yeah. I think I will cry if I go into more on that one, so I'm going to just leave that for now. We all have people in our lives who are happy in their misery. Because to look outside their misery be to look inside themselves. And to look inside yourself is a terrifying prospect. It takes a very strong person to be able to do that. The wise man lets his heart overflow, but keeps his mouth silent. Yep, very caring person, listens, is attentive. O men, list to the voice of wisdom, list to the voice of light. Mysteries there are in the cosmos, that unveiled fill the world with their light. Let he who would be free from the bonds of darkness first divine the material from the immaterial, the fire from the earth. For know ye that as earth descends to earth, so also fire ascends to fire, and becomes one with fire. He who knows the fire that is within himself shall ascend unto the eternal fire, and dwell in it eternally. Now this was a little fun for me. One of the people I have as a teacher, I'm trying to remember the name of the class. I don't remember it, but she was talking about the four elements and how they break up within our bodies. And our brains and our nervous system are the fire within us. And I can't remember if it was 4 or 6% of us is that fire. Our nervous system is the fire. So basically that's the portion that is ascending, because as we move higher in vibration, we create more synapses, right? I'm afraid I'm going to explain this terribly. Again, I don't know who all is looking at this to be able to understand what I'm saying, but I'm going to do my best. If we are ascending to higher dimensions, the way a lot of us believe that we are, the intent is to bring our bodies with us, which means our bodies must change as we go up. And that's why the need for the increased synapses, so that our abilities will increase as we go up. But that's how you ascend fire into fire to eventually join with the eternal fire. I hope that makes sense. If not, ask me in the comments. I'll see if I can explain it in a different way. Fire, the inner fire, is the most potent of all forces, for it overcometh all things, and penetrates to all things of the earth. Man supports himself only on that which resists. So earth must resist man, else he existeth not. That's pretty much what I was talking about with the regular mainstream people being taught that they must be in resistance constantly. They don't want to unplug, go within themselves, face themselves, and come out in non-resistance at the other end. It's too scary. All eyes do not see with the same vision, which is just a continuation of what we were just talking about. For to one, an object appears in one form and color, and to a different eye of another. So also the infinite fire, changing from color to color, is never the same from day to day. Thus speak I, Thoth of my wisdom, for man is a fire burning bright through the night, never is quenched by the veil of the darkness, never is quenched by the veil of the night. And really that says that it doesn't matter how many times our bodies die, we're still always going to be a bright light. Into men's hearts I looked by my wisdom, found them not free from the bondage of strife, free from the toils thy fire, O my brother, lest it be buried in the shadow of night. Basically just keep working on that vibration and the synapses and keep rising higher. Hark ye, O man, and list to this wisdom. Where do name and form cease? Only in consciousness, invisible, and infinite force of radiance bright. The forms that ye create are brightening thy vision, are truly effects that follow thy cause. This is one of those age-old questions. I have no idea how to form the words for my thoughts on this in a way that will be understood. But I think it just correlates to what I've already said on it anyway, so just more of the keep raising your vibration and brightening yourself, and understand that you are not your body. You have never been your body, no matter how many lives you've been. All this is ever going to be is a biomechanical suit. Just like with any other machine. It needs maintenance. It needs fuel. All you can do is figure out how to upgrade the fuel so it'll last longer if you want to stay in this body for a longer period of time. By the way, food is shit fuel. And the worse the food you put in your body, the rougher your body's going to run. So we'll leave it at that. And yes, I do eat food. I have not figured out how to be breatharian yet. I do hope to get there one day, but I am not there yet. Okay. Remember, O man, that all which exists is only another form of that which exists not. Everything that has being is passing into yet another being, and thou thyself is not an exception. And I was already talking about that with the ascension process. Consider the law, for all is law. Seek not that which is not the law, for such exists only in the illusion of the senses. Yeah. Wisdom cometh to all her children, even as they cometh unto wisdom. I like how he calls it children, because you do get wiser with age if you are properly learning throughout the... So I laugh because there are people that are my age, and I'm not exactly young, that are not very wise. People that are older than me that are not very wise. So, yeah. Kind of reminds me of the olden days when you had rites of passage. And it wasn't until you passed the rite of passage that you were considered an adult. Whereas now, omnis opus, you're this age in years, so therefore you are now an adult. You can't tie your shoelaces, you can't cook your own food, you don't even know how to go grocery shopping or what a grocery store looks like. But here, you're an adult now. Right. Interesting definition there. All through the ages, light has been hidden. Awake, O man, and be wise. And I like that because it's hinting that you can't be very wise while you're still immersed in the dream. Deep in the mysteries of life have I traveled, seeking and searching for that which is hidden. List ye, O man, and be wise. Far neath the earth crust. Again, he doesn't use possession there. Okay. Apparently the cat wants in the blanket again. In the halls of Amenti, mysteries I saw that are hidden from man. There's no need to further expand on that. Oft have I journeyed the deep hidden passage, looked on the light that is life among men. There neath the flowers of life, ever living, searched I the hearts and secrets of men. Found I that man is but living in darkness. Light of the great fire is hidden within. What are you doing? No. Sorry, one of the cats decided to chew on one of my cords. Young man. Stop. Okay. What I found interesting in that passage is flowers is plural. So where in the last two texts I was pondering, you know, we've got the 32 thrones and they're all sitting around that, the flower there. With it being plural here, it makes it look like they did put in extra flowers for those that are gained access to Amenti after the halls were created. So I guess that answer's been provided there for me. My sister watched one or two of these videos and she said she had to Google Amenti to figure out what it was. And so I was like, I wonder what Google does say about Amenti. And it was just, yeah. They call it mythology. And the place where the dead go to figure out if they're going to heaven or hell. I don't like that definition. I think it cheapens what the halls of Amenti are there for. And then that doesn't ring true for what I'm reading in these texts. Okay. Before the lords of hidden Amenti learned I the wisdom I give unto men. Masters are they of the great wisdom, brought from the future of infinity's end. 7 are they, the lords of Amenti, overlords they of the children of morning, sons of cycles, masters of wisdom. And I think this is the only mention of the children of morning. So I'm wondering who the children of morning are as opposed to the other groups that they mention throughout the text. Formed are not they as the children of men? 3, 4, 5, and 6, 7, 8, 9 are the titles of the masters of men. And here they're masters of men, not lords of men. Far from the future, formless yet forming, came they as teachers for the children of men. Live they forever, yet not of the living. Bound not to life, yet free from death. Rule they forever with infinite wisdom. Bound, yet not bound, to the dark halls of death. Life they have in them, yet life that is not life. Free from all are the lords of all. See, and that's something that has been debated by a lot of people in the spiritual community. You know, what is life? I'll throw the heavy question out there, sure. Because surely most of us aren't living. Even though we're bound to a body, we're still not living. Those without bodies are living far better than we are, because we are imprisoned in a body. But most of us are trapped in the stories that society tells us that we must live by. We're afraid to break the chains that bind us, because we can still be in a body and be able to live free. But in order to do that, we have to understand and accept how powerful we really are. And because we're too steeped in fear, and our overlords keep us in fear to make sure that we never realize our power. They only have power because we allow them to. And because we allow them to, we are not truly living. Next. Forth from them came forth the Logos, instruments they of the power o'er all. Vast is their countenance, yet hidden in smallness, formed by a forming, known yet unknown. That makes me think of his staff again that had all the technologies in it. I can't remember which text that was in. That may have been in the commentary that the doctor put in here. And he says logos means word or reason, but I think it means more than that, because logos is a technology. Again. This time I grabbed it wrong and loosened it up. I gotta find my place again. Oh, that's pretty easy. So I think logos is more than that, because the logos, it says here, are instruments of power. There's more than one, and the logos was used to bury Atlantis in a flood. Okay, which means it isn't reason, it's a technology. So I'm going to dispute the good doctor who has been studying this stuff for 26 years at the time he wrote this book, and say he's not right. Okay, now we're going to talk about the masters of wisdom here. 3 holds the key of all hidden magic, creator he of the halls of dead, sending forth power, shrouding with darkness, binding the souls of the children of men, sending the darkness, binding the soul force, director of negative to the children of men. So basically 3 is death. Yeah, 3 is death. And make sure that you feel bound in your body when you're in it, to make sure you die. 4 is he who looses the power, Lord he of life to the children of men. Light is his body, flame is his countenance, freer of souls to the children of men. So he's the fun one that wants us to realize that we can live, even though we're shrouded in darkness. 5 is the master, Lord of all magic key to the word that resounds among men. And here he's italicizing the words, the word, but I'm not sure exactly why. Probably the concept of what we need to be able to wake up and realize who we are. Understanding what word actually means, because it doesn't mean what we have been told it means. Word is a spell. 6 is the Lord of light, the hidden pathway, path of the souls of the children of men. That goes back to staying on our path. 6 is who helps us stay on our path, lighting the way. 7 is he who is Lord of the vastness, master of space and the key of the times, which is basically a area where we go to expand our wisdom, see how other men live, as is described by the term that Thoth uses when he's out in space doing his astral traveling. 8 is he who orders the progress, weighs and balances the journey of men. I think he's one of the ones that has a say in, okay, we need to drown them again. I like that evolution meme that was out there. Turn back! 9 is the Father, vast he of countenance, forming and changing from out of the formless. I don't think that needs further descriptions. Meditate on the symbols I give thee. Keys are they, though hidden from men. And it says symbols plural here, and I find that interesting because the only symbol in this book is the flower of life. There's not any other symbol in here at all. So I don't know if there's more in the pyramid or what, but in this book, the flower of life is the only one. Actually, yeah, there would have to be some in the pyramid, because he talks about how he leaves the keys in the pyramid to find him. So, yeah, he gives other symbols, just not necessarily in the book. Reach ever upward, O soul of the morning. Turn thy thoughts upward to light and to life. Find in the keys of the numbers I bring thee, light on the passage from life unto life. And the reason he says numbers is because that's the sacred geometry aspect. What do the numbers mean? Not just what was defined within the book, but there's far deeper and far spiritual meanings of those numbers. And someday I'm going to finish studying that stuff and be able to convey that information to you. But for right now, I have only read up to number 4. Seek ye with wisdom. Turn thy thoughts inward. Close not thy mind to the flower of light. I think most people need to first open their mind to the flower of light before they can close it, because most people don't even know it exists, much less want to know about it once they do find out about it. Some just go, oh, how pretty, and then go, head back in the sand. Place in thy body a thought-formed picture. Think of the numbers that lead thee to life. Clear is the pathway to he who has wisdom. Open the door to the kingdom of light. Pour forth thy flame as a sun of the morning. Shut out the darkness and live in the day. And I think that's another hint to astral traveling, because your soul is the flame, your eternal flame. So pour forth your flame as a sun, meaning leave your body and live in the day. Take thee, O man, as part of thy being, the 7 who are, but are not as they seem. Opened, O man, have I my wisdom. Follow the path in the way I have led. Sacred geometry. Masters of wisdom, son of the morning, light and life to the children of men. And that is it. Sorry about the cats being a pain in the butt tonight. Luckily, they don't do that very often. They've come very close to that several times before, but I guess tonight they just wanted to be assholes. Yeah. But if you got this far, thank you for watching. If you have any questions or comments, share them below. Like, share, subscribe if you want to hear more. If you want to have me comment on other types of topics, also put that below. And I'll see if it's something within my future wheelhouse, because there's a lot that I'm wanting to study. And I actually have a lot more books in here than I've ever picked up, because time is an issue. Having quiet time is an issue. Literally 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. are my time frames to do any real work. So, yeah. But thank you for watching, and have a good evening.